got a massive tankification video for you. Haha, the Sledge. I've got the Vitavon chassis, which allows you to flip the transmission around with his mount right here to run a huge motor. So, unlimited. Now, I've got the shock towers, got a receiver mount, and all of this is going in this video right now. Let's get to that table. We got some work to do. Let's check this stuff out. And just in case you're wondering, that is a 1650 1717 size motor, that big old castle. Here you have a Holmes normal 1/8 size motor, 4274. Yeah. So you want some big power? There you go. Got the shock towers. I didn't show you guys, but I'm also doing the 52 spur gear as well. Receiver box. Yeah, now let's do a quick comparison of this layout versus the stock layout. Stock configuration right there, you got the motor up front, ESC and receiver in the back. The new configuration puts the motor in the back and the receiver and ESC both go right here. The ESC mounts with the stock ESC right using those bolts on the receiver box itself. So that's how that's set up. But the way this is set up with the dual slots and the slots down here, guess what? You can put the stock system right on the new chassis. The next part is everything comes off. Everything. You can try to, prop it to where you just simply take the chassis off and drop the new one on. And I've tried that before, but it never works. Plus, I got the shock towers to take care of. Obviously, this stuff's got to be moved around, the new spur gear, all that wonderful stuff. So I just got to take things apart, and I'm not going to bore you guys with me tearing it apart because I'm just going to get it done. And that's because I want to show you guys things like this. There's your stock setup in the new Vitavon chassis. I mean, it bolts right in, totally fine, so you can do just the chassis and be good to go. Now the Vitavon mount, on the other hand, not really so good on the stock chassis. You get your 4 bolts to hold that down right there. It keys in place, but the spur gear and all is going to be way over here. They do make a really long pinion gear. You may be able to make this work, but you also lose the extra bolt hole over there to help support the motor mount and all that. So get that back into place like that. So although it will technically bolt in, I don't really think it's what you would want, and I doubt you would buy this much motor mount just to put the stock motor and all right in place. The new center diff and motor mount and all that works with 3mm or 4mm motor bolts. So yeah, you got options. And in all honesty, I'm fine with that Hobbywing system right there. So that's exactly what I'm going to put right back into here. Before I start bolting things into this brand new chassis, I've got to show you guys some of the details of the chassis. It is not stamped. This is billet cut, and I'm going to show you some of the details that tell the story. You can look at the tool paths right here. This is from the CNC. This was a solid piece of billet 7075 aluminum that was machined out. You can see everything right here. So this is the real deal, guys. I'm starting with the motor mount. That bolted in with the bolts that came with the motor mount right there. I'm gonna take these off right here so I can put the center diff into place. But first, we've got to actually put the new spur gear on this thing. Now the stock spur gear is a 52 tooth. It is a centered metal. So it's kind of like heat pressed powder. So anyway, this is real 45 steel right here, and it's a 52. I'm gonna stay with the same pinion gear so it'll be geared a little bit faster. But anyway, I'm gonna take the 4 bolts out right there, and then that side will come off and we'll transfer the bearing, the seals, and the outdrop cup. When you crack this open, that 20 million is gonna be a little bit gummy. That's 20 million for you. Stock spur gear on the left, new spur gear on the right. I like that the stock spur gear has these little teeth thing right here that physically hold on the diff cup. However, this centered steel is known for breaking. However, this is the factory one that came on my truck. I've not broken it, but time to upgrade. These are the parts you're going to take out of your diff right here. And check that bearing. If that bearing is messed up even a little bit, take some time, order your bearing, maybe on Amazon or something, and just get your bearings changed before you assemble it. If not, you're going to be tearing this thing right back apart. You put this back together the exact same way you took the stock one apart. Simple and easy, really simple. The pin goes into the shaft, the gear goes on it, gasket goes in place. It's that simple. In the end, this is what you'll have right here, ready to go. To take the center diff in and out, there are 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the top of this comes off, drop the center diff right in place. Just like that. This motor can do 4mm or 3mm bolts. I chose the 4mm, of course. And you're going to set that pinion gear way down in there just like that. Make sure your set screw isn't super huge, because if it's really sticking out there, you're going to have a clearance issue. I did not have a clearance issue with this Techno pinion gear. As far as pinion size, you can really put a big pinion gear on this thing. I mean, over a 20 tooth. I'm not sure the exact maximum size, but yeah, you can gear this thing way up. The pedestals on the receiver box are actually keyed in place to hold it, lock it in so it won't shift. There's room underneath it where you can actually run your servo wires, because the input is over here. I'd have rather had one on the other side, but that's kind of the way it goes in. If you're running the stock ESC, it bolts in here and there. I'm not running the stock ESC, so I'm just simply going to tape something right to the top of this thing. With the ESC taped on, I can still get to the bolts to open it up. Up next is the rear shock tower, and we got to take, well, a whole bunch of stuff off, like the shocks, the diff cover, get a peek inside there, get the arms to take loose, the links, the body mount stuff, all that's got to come off. So I'm just going to start unbolting some things. Guys, there was a lot of stuff attached to this shock tower. That's a really serious part, let me tell you. And yep, did have some sand in my diff. So now's a good time to clean that out. But yeah, whew, that's a serious piece. There's so much attached to that, it's not even funny. Got this part done at least. Yep, got the diff cleaned out. Looks a lot better in there, and time to continue on. Making progress with it. So much stuff attached to this shock tower. Wow. Here we go. That one is done. Woo! All right, let's get that front. Way over there. Wow, that was a lot easier to get out. I mean, like, seriously easy. And the grease is good, so I'm good. The front is done, and that was super easy as compared to the back. So just keep track of all your bolts. And now it's time to put those onto the chassis. Now, these bolt on just like the stock ones you took off. Just like that. Same bolts, they go right back into place. Got everything going back together, but I ran into an issue. This gear cover does not work with the stock battery tray. So if you're using the Vitavon battery mount, that fits perfectly, but I want to go over something with you guys. I got a hold of Arthur. I explained the situation, and he made a modification and sent it to me. How awesome is Arthur? This right here is a new top cover that works with the stock battery tray and servo mount. Let's get this thing put on. The new cover is on. Does it touch the plastic? Yes. Now this has a 52 spur gear, so he had to leave room to make sure that the 52 stock spur gear would fit. But anyway, the battery still fits in perfectly. You got all your space and all that stuff. So yeah, Arthur really came through to make this happen. Absolutely awesome. And while I was at it, I went ahead and ordered the battery mount and all that. So the new narrow gear cover and the battery mount is going in. I'm doing it all. Here we go. Now I gotta tell you, this Velcro that Arthur uses, sometimes it can be quite the hassle because it sticks so good to itself. However, that battery is solid. There's no way it's going to hit that at all. I got the added clearance. Now it's time to put a servo in here. There you go, guys. Install complete. Woo! Check that out. Ha! Beautiful. Yeah. Haha. Well, how about that for an install? Yeah, ran into a problem. Arthur came through, brand new design, new piece, made everything fit. Now you can fit the stock battery tray with his motor mount and all that stuff. Now, if you had the stock motor mount and all that, you just put all your stock stuff in, it bolts in, no problem. So, but anyway, I kind of needed things to work around a little bit, and Arthur came through. The thing about Arthur is he'll listen to you, and he'll come up with something to make the product the way it should be. So that's just awesome. Awesome working with Arthur. Notice I got the Power Hobby tires. I got with them, explained the situation, and they actually sent me a single replacement. Happy with that. Because that other tire, it's still out in the trees. Yeah, I don't know where it's at. But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the build, the modification, the brand new parts. This thing is truly a tank. It really is. I believe I've got everything Arthur makes for it now. I think. But anyway, guys, hopefully you liked the video. Check that description. I'll link up this stuff down below. Use those links. They are affiliate links. AMAN, eBay, Amazon, and Horizon. Helps out the channel when you guys use them. So, guys, you know what to do. And also, hit that subscribe and ring that bell. You guys are awesome. Catch you later. If you're still watching, you are top shelf. You are the cream of the crop, the pick of the litter. You are phenomenal. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. Now, down below, there are links for the products you see, also for channel memberships. If you guys want to be a part, channel members get early viewing on pretty much everything that I can. So, guys, check that description. There's a lot of info down there. Thank you all for watching.